does a bug survive? What do bugs do? Like mosquitoes would be a good example of these. Leeches would be examples. I hear what you said. Well, yeah. But they're predators, or they can specifically be where, Max, you said suck blood. You're a parasite. You find a host, okay, and then you live off of that host. Think about a little bit of the irony that would be happening here. Let's assume that Gregor has turned into a bug. If he has turned into a bug, depending again on the type of bug that he would be, you might be a parasite. But if you're a parasite, you live off of a host. Mosquito would be, a great example of this. What's his father doing to him?
Oh, I see.
His father
has been living off of him.
which, what we just said here, his father has been living off of him. So in some ways, it's not that Gregor is the parasite, but there's the potential that is his father. And we don't know a whole lot, maybe, about all those details yet at this point. I'll put a question mark next to the family. But are they more of a parasite? Are they more of a monster? Are they more of a dehumanized being by taking advantage of Gregor than he would actually be, even after that whole switch into him becoming a bug happens? Because you certainly do find out some details about Gregor that make it seem like he's going to be a loving individual. You had one of the questions here on your quiz, where what is the hopes that he has for his sister? He wants Greta to be able to go to. Greta should attend a conservatory. Conservatory is going to be a school that you're going to go to that's going to help you when it comes to performing arts, playing music. She is a violin player. So on pages 35 and 36, he's hoping that this is going to happen. When was he going to make this announcement to her? It was going to be her, not birthday, Christmas gift. So he has things that he wants to do. Gregor was going to be able to try to pay for this. This is certainly going to cost a fair amount of money, but it's something that he was still saving money in order to be able to do this for her. So, and we know Greta's only 17 years old at this point, so Gregor's a little bit older than her. So he has hopes for his sister. He's happy that his father has saved all that money because it means that they're still going to be able to survive. But it would seem that maybe he should be a little more aware of all the negative things that could be taking place, that they are the ones that are going to kind of be the parasite and live off of him. So this would be an idea to kind of keep an eye on to see how things continue to play out within part 3, if there's change in this, or are they end up becoming a little bit more human and maybe some better qualities for him. How's Gregor's eyesight? Overall, his eyesight is getting to be pretty poor.
I'd assume he'd have compound eyes by now.
Well, it's kind of like the book Frankenstein. You don't get a whole lot of scientific details about the monster that Frankenstein does. You don't get a whole lot of scientific details about the bug that he's kind of become. It's still ambiguous, but eyesight, it's deteriorating. It's becoming poor. It's certainly becoming blurry. You don't get a whole lot as to, are you seeing like multiple things and all of those types of things that we maybe associate with eyesight for bugs. But by page 38, he is certainly achieving things with less clarity. When he would look outside his window within his bedroom, there was one building that he could always see. But now it's becoming a little bit more difficult on 38 for him to see this stuff. Crept up to the windowsill, braced in the chair, leaned against the window to look out, on page 38. From day to day, he perceived things with less and less clarity, even those short distances away. The hospital across the street, the all too frequent sight of which he had previously cursed, was not visible at all anymore, and he had not been precisely aware that he lived in the quiet but completely urban Charlotte Street. So one of the buildings that he used to have right, well, not that he used to, but he used to be able to see from him right across the street was the hospital. Now that hospital is starting to disappear from him that he can no longer see. What could be significant about the fact that it's a hospital that he cannot perceive with any kind of clarity anymore? Hospital could be help. Another H word with help. Hopefully you get health. And what's the thing that he's becoming less and less? Also H, human. So you kind of have the trifecta that's happening here with the hospital. As this starts to get further and further away from him that he cannot see, it seems that this human nature of him is getting further and further away from him. So, who knows what physically is happening, but less and less human as time ends up passing. And certainly changes in his behavior and his physical description are certainly going to kind of heighten that. If there were ever a detail that would make you think that Gregor has absolutely changed into a bug, we know he likes to hang underneath his couch a little bit, and he does that so Greta doesn't have to see him. What's another place that he'll go? Crawls up on the ceiling. And he says he can hang there for a little bit, and then he'll fall down. But he's actually able to physically get on the ceiling, and there's a description that wherever he walks on the walls or on the ceiling, ends up leaving some sticky goo kind of stuff behind him. So again, what's the physical qualities about it? We don't know, but certainly you could argue that, okay, this human quality of him is disappearing. So on 38, even though it seems to be a little detail where the hospital is disappearing, the fact that the hospital disappears also equates or equal signs to his overall humanity or the chance for help disappears, or at least seems to get lesser and lesser with every single passing hour. And at this point, day, week, and it's kind of getting into the case, and even that we have months. One of the other descriptions that gets along mentioned with it, besides things getting blurry, also everything seems to be a little bit more gray. So it's kind of like a gray world, gray environment that he now sees. So there's less color than what there used to be before. Everything is kind of becoming a little bit more muddy at this point. Yeah, like it, and I think, obviously, eyesight and color and all that kind of stuff is going to vary, but the things that he attaches himself to, not literally but figuratively, family, it's starting to kind of go away in the sense that he doesn't see them, interact with them as much anymore. Things that he used to be able to see are disappearing. He can't pick up on colors anymore as much. Things that you kind of associate are going to make us kind of human. All of those qualities are disappearing. And that really comes to the forefront when they start to do the rearrangement of his room, because now this is where, okay, by moving his belongings, by taking his furniture, by rearranging his stuff without any permission coming from him, now this is kind of solidifying again that they don't really look at him as being the brother, but he's kind of transformed from being a member of the family, from being a brother, to nothing more than kind of like a pet or just some kind of domesticated animal that's not going to be perceived the same way. There's a couple belongings of his that he really gets upset when those things get taken away from him. The picture is one. And so this stuff is happening like pages 46 to 48. The picture of the woman, and he like physically protects it, like he covers it with his stomach so that they cannot take it away. And on that note sheet that we did last week, we kind of said, hey, this picture with the woman, while it's not a person that he knows, it's kind of at least that straw at trying to have some kind of human connection with somebody, where he lacks those relationships with work and with family. So this is a person, an object, something that would kind of symbolize his humanity that he wants to try to protect as much as he can. And then, yeah, Ben's absolutely right. The other thing is going to be his writing desk. Because with his writing desk, obviously you're going to be able to write. That's where you're able to create. That is something where you're able to communicate. And even if he can't do it in his current form, those things, the ability to create, the ability to communicate, certainly are those human qualities that are going to be very important to him, especially as he's kind of beginning to lose touch of those things. So, rearrangement of his room, something that's basically happening without his permission. This is where you really begin to see the transformation, not only within Gregor taking place, but a transformation is happening within the family, where the way they treat one another, the roles that every person has, those things certainly begin to kind of switch a little bit. So, Mara, you don't have anything with vocab that we got to worry about. We're going to continue to take a look at some of these pieces here on the note sheet. We're going to make sure you have the text with you. We're going to highlight some more things so that when we come to take a look at the symbols and themes, we got plenty of support that we're going to use.